Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
My God. I don't know whether to say good morning or apply for a loan from you, right?
Yeah. Hide your credit.
It's not very good right now.
Your credit.
Wow. My God, you live in a palatial estate up in Bel Air, and now you own a bank? That's what you look like, Mr. Sharpe.
If you ain't got 850 credit, don't even come to my bank. 850. So
okay. I do not qualify.
Okay.
No, I do not either.
Skip,
looking good, looking professional,
I
ready
can't
for the
compete
day.
with this, man.
I'm Walter.
Yeah, this game is already over. Yeah.
Walter Sharpe has showed up for work today.
How are you?
We have a lot to get to today. Do you want to do that again? I really enjoy that. Is the Cowboys offense really the second best in the league? And are Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs on upset alert tonight in Denver? Shannon, that one might be hard for you, but we are going to start with the Lakers. LeBron and new teammate Anthony Davis put on a show last night, taking down the Warriors 126-93. The King put up 18 points to go along with 11 assists. AD had 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And after the game, he said, quote, "It feels good knowing that you don't have to do much." Steph Curry, guys, did sit out for the Warriors. Shannon, what did last night tell you?
This team can be really, really good, Skip. Watching LeBron do what he does, I'm going to be shocked if he doesn't average double-digit assists this season.
How about those double-digit rebounds?
No. That's not going to happen.
He's capable.
No. He doesn't need to exert himself like that, especially year 17. No. The objective, Skip, now is to you make a trade for Anthony Davis to help share some of the load with LeBron James. You have Rondo. So now LeBron doesn't have to worry about all the rebounds. You have AD. You have Dwight Howard. You have JaVale McGee. So 6 rebounds would be plenty for LeBron James. Now, I don't believe his point total is going to be customarily what we're used to seeing, that 26, 27, 28 point total. I believe he's going to be somewhere around 23 to 25 on a nightly basis. But I do believe he'll average somewhere around 10 assists on a nightly basis. Skip, I love to see the passing between him and Anthony Davis. Good luck trying to stop them in the pick and roll. Because watching Anthony Davis last night, Skip, he had 8 assists, and it wasn't the total that I like. It was him being able to pass the ball. We don't normally see him do that on a nightly basis. But to see him pass out of the post, to see him throw the lob to JaVale and Dwight and the backdoor cuts to Avery Bradley, he was unbelievable last night. And Skip, I think we're showing it right that we're showing the lob that he threw to JaVale. But they put him in the pick and roll. He stops the pick, and then he rolls out on Draymond and blocks his shot. They've never had that before. LeBron has never played with a big guy this talented. And I know he played with Shaq, but when he played with Shaq, that wasn't the Shaq that we saw in Orlando and in his years in L.A. This was an older Shaq, and he wasn't that same player.
Chris Bosh was pretty good for that stretch, but okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, thank you.
Well.
And so I love what I'm seeing. And LeBron, Skip, you see that last night, using that box again. Yeah, everybody bobbing. Hey, LeBron playing in his toolbox again. He doing no-look passes. Yeah. He didn't have to do that. He could have easily just come down the court and kicked it. That old Magic Johnson kick like that. He could have done that. But he said, I want to do something special.
Yep.
I just want to give you guys a sample. Skip, sometimes you go to Costco, you go to Whole Foods, they have samples.
Sure.
You can't get the whole brisket, you can't get the whole, but they give you a little sample, a little taste of what you could possibly get.
It was just preseason.
Just a little taste.
Huh.
You got to ruin everything.
Preview.
Why you got to ruin everything?
I was going along with your taste because it was just the preseason. It did not count last night, unless I missed it. Maybe that did count.
Yep, all I'm saying
it felt like it counted 5 games last night.
That was just a sample of what's to come.
Okay.
For 41 straight games.
Yep.
At home, that's what you're going to be able to see at the Staples Center. And we're going to take that show. We're going to take that show on the road, too.
Oof.
I love what I saw, Skip. This team has the makings of being something special. I love what I'm seeing from Dwight Howard. Skip, Dwight Howard is Skip, he knows what's been said about him, and rightfully so.
Yep.
He had become a journeyman. He'd become a joke. He'd become a laughingstock because Dwight Howard was one of the preeminent players in the NBA. No matter what he is now, but he was a defensive player of the year 3 straight years in a row, Skip. Could rebound, block shot, could score the bucket. Now, all of a sudden, He goes from Orlando to L.A. to Houston to Atlanta to Charlotte to Washington, and then goes to the Grizzlies and they say, you want to talk to L.A., go and talk to them.
Yep.
We go, goodbye, yeah, get up out of here. But now he seems hungry. He seems to try to rewrite some of the stories that's been written about him. And so I love what I'm seeing. I believe I'm going to be shocked if this team doesn't win at least 56 games. Always health. They're a little older.
Go up?
No.
60-ish?
We already got about 3 or 4 cases.
Really?
After I see a couple of games, I might bump it up to 60.
Really?
Might.
65-ish?
No.
Yeah.
60 for
Go
sure.
for the record, maybe?
No, we don't need the record. Because last time a team got the record, what did it do for them?
Fair.
True.
Yeah.
So this morning, Mr. Sharpe, what's your name, Walter Sharpe? Walter!
Walter.
You got me on the run today. I just go off my eye test, and I just sit back and let it I just soak it in, and I process it, and I cannot tell a lie. I was extremely impressed with the Los Angeles Lakers, albeit in a preseason game, but it was a cavalcade of highlights.
Yes.
It was a tour de force. And I will admit to you, this team is growing on me because everything I saw last night, I didn't like, I loved. Preseason, albeit, I loved it.
Right.
Because the pieces are fitting together immediately. And I will remind everybody, Kyle Kuzma did not play last night. Rondo did not play last night. So I want to put this in this big picture perspective for you. Late last season, the Los Angeles Lakers front office was ridiculed and nationally condemned as a clown show.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
Day after day, we sat here and said, clown show, embarrassment. These are the Lakers. Somewhere, Jerry Buss is spinning in his grave at what's happened under his daughter, Jeannie.
Correct.
Because this is a dysfunctional mess featuring what sounded like Linda Rambis running the operation.
Correct.
And her husband, Kurt Rambis, sort of presiding over the basketball side.
Right.
And it felt like a Rambis show. And I remind everybody, Magic Johnson just walked out the back door one night. He just said, I've had enough. And then he condemned Rob Pelinka for backstabbing. Magic Johnson, the ultimate Laker, the greatest Laker, the most beloved Laker, quit on the Lakers. I just want to keep this in perspective. That was just at the end of last year, right?
Basically.
You're right. Doesn't feel long ago.
Rob Pelinka was nationally condemned as the ex-agent of Kobe Bryant, but an ex-agent nobody trusted. He couldn't get people to take his calls around the league, we were told, it was reported, because nobody trusted him, especially in the wake of Magic condemning him for betrayal. Think about this. And all of a sudden last night, I sat back in the third quarter and I thought, you know what? Rob Pelinka is in line for Executive of the Year here. And I'm not kidding. I'm not making a joke. Am I right?
Yes.
This roster is sensationally deep. And he got put way behind the 8 ball by number 2. Did he not? Because number 2 really left them low and dry, not high and dry, low and dry, because it went right to the 11th hour. They thought they had it.
This ain't the 11th hour. This was the 12th hour.
It was the 12th hour. And he just jerked the rug right out from underneath him. And he not only signed with another team, he signed with the team that shares the building. You're kidding. And I thought, oh, what a screw job, because the Lakers could have gone there. They could have gone after him. They could have gone after him. And look what he did. Look what he salvaged, because what I love the most about the depth of this roster is LeBron James, who was defensively challenged last year, is suddenly surrounded by a whole bunch of guys who really defend, man. Avery Bradley will get up in your face. Danny Green is more of a finesse defender. He's not a tough guy defender, but he will really defend at a high level. Jared Dudley, I go up and down with him, but he will defend you. He's a crafty defender. My point is, last night, it's rubbing off on LeBron because, seriously, I'm not exaggerating. Last night, LeBron played the hardest defense I've seen him play since he joined the Lakers, and that includes, how many games he played? 55 last year. I did not see him in any of those 55 games that counted last year, played defense as hard as he played from start to finish last night.
Okay.
Seriously, he was locked in and fighting hard on defense. He was running out on shooters. We saw last year the low light was Kuzma had to push him out to go cover a shooter, Gallinari. So I sat back and I said, here's Anthony Davis, so happy, and his quotes were so happy. We're playing together and we're playing for each other. It sounded like Kentucky, like it was a college team, right? Didn't it? Like he was just, and again, my fear for him is that spotlight's going to get a little too hot for him because he's never felt it before, and maybe it's still preseason and it hasn't started yet. But then what was his big message after the game? I felt like I didn't have to carry the load for the first time in my pro career. I felt like everybody could contribute because last night everybody did.
They did.
To your point, he had 8 assists, so he got to play a little point. And I loved watching LeBron mostly do what he does the best. And he is still the best passer in basketball. He just is. Period. End of story. I don't see how anybody's even in a conversation with him for passing the basketball.
Right.
And so for much of the game, he played the point. He ran the show.
He did.
He distributed the basketball the way nobody can. And they're all vibing off each other. Right. And it was come one, come all for one for all. Whoever's turn it is, they shot it. It was fun to watch.
Right.
Now, for the perspective, I couldn't even recognize what's left of Golden State. And just for the perspective, I went back to the end of last year with the Lakers. Think of what's happened to Golden State. I just want to refresh people's memory. Think about what we saw at the end of the year from Golden State. So obviously now there's no KD, there's no Clay, there's no DeMarcus Cousins, there's no Iguodala, there's no Sean Livingston. There's no Quinn Cook because guess who he plays for? And guess what he did last night? He took it out on his ex-team.
And that was the thing, Skip. I like Quinn Cook, and I'm like, is this was he just amped because he was going against his former team because they didn't want?
But I still like him a lot.
I do too. Skip, he played well for Golden State last year in those little 14, 15
minutes.
He's
a fearless shooter. Would make 4 out of 5 threes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that hurts.
And he tries to defend a little bit.
Yeah. And again, I always like Jordan Bell coming off the bench, and he's now a Timberwolf, believe it or not. So what did we have last night also, given all those losses? Steph Curry had played the other night, so he didn't play at all last night.
Right.
Kevon Looney did not play last night. Alec Burks didn't play. Willie Cauley-Stein did not play. Amari Spellman did not play. So guess who did play? Just Draymond. Okay, and their new addition, D'Angelo, played. So just those two guys. And the starting lineup featured Jacob Evans and Marquise Chris and Alfonso McKinney. Okay, so guess what it felt like to me? A little G-League-ish. It did. Seriously, a little G-League-ish. So I'm not trying to rain on any of your parade because my eye test told me yes, across the board. But then this brings me to what we argued yesterday. Can your new guy, Anthony Davis, win the MVP? And you said, absolutely he can. I'm not sure if LeBron can stand for it because what LeBron did last night, highest IQ in basketball, was he distributed for a while. And then when the game got out of hand, guess what LeBron said? Watch this. My turn. And he quit distributing and he started scoring. And it was willful scoring, like I'm just going to drive the basketball, shoot the basketball. I'm going to dominate the basketball. And it got so crazy. I got to see this highlight again. You remember what happened mid-third quarter? LeBron on the break. Can we see LeBron? This is LeBron just scoring at will. On the break, he goes completely behind his back. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Look at that. He goes completely all the way 360. What?
Yeah.
He went behind his back.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's ultimate front running on the G League-ish Golden State team.
There
Well,
you
it is.
There you go.
It is. But it's LeBron saying, okay, everybody else scored for a while. My turn.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody, this is my comeback season for the ages as well as Anthony's first season with the Lakers. So my point is, LeBron's not going to allow Anthony to be the MVP because LeBron's still too good. He's got too much to prove, right?
We're going to prove it.
Okay.
We're going to prove it. We get that Bill Russell trophy.
Okay, just because of what you say, there's no way that Anthony, you can't have, they're going to vie, they're going to compete for MVP.
Yeah.
How can one team have two guys that are quasi-MVP, could be 50-50 MVP.
Well,
right?
true. LeBron James is going to have, I believe he'll have average double-digit assists. I think his scoring will come down a tick. Anthony Davis will be Anthony Davis. I believe he'll still be somewhere 26 to 28 points. 10 to 12 rebounds on a nightly basis. And considering the way he passed the basketball, I gave him 3 assists yesterday. He might be somewhere around 4 or 5 assists.
Hard to be MVP when you're doing that.
Yes. But I think the thing, Skip, is that LeBron understands is that I don't need to do everything offensively in order for us to have success. And now we can stagger the minutes because I got somebody out there. AD can be out there. AD's going to play. Obviously, they'll start the game together, but one of these guys is going to go to the bench while the other stays out. And then when the other goes out, the other will come back in. And so we can stagger the minutes so we can always have quality scoring on the floor. LeBron's going to be LeBron, Skip. And that's why he's the best player on the planet still.
I don't know about that. Kevin Durant is that guy, but unfortunately, he's not on the basketball planet right now. He's off the planet.
He's not.
Yeah, off the grid.
He's not.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, considering, Skip, first of all, Kevin Durant can't do all the things that LeBron. You know that, I know that. But okay, go ahead and make your point.
Yes, he can. He's a better scorer, a better mid-range shooter.
He's a better scorer, but all my guy do is average more points per game than Kevin Durant. But go ahead.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you this. It was very interesting last night that happened without Kyle Kuzma. Who's the greenest light shooter on the Lakers, who was last year? That guy.
Yeah.
Right? Never met a shot he didn't love, right? Just whatever it is, he's just going to just jack it.
Right.
So are you sure when he comes back full bore, is he going to fit in this? Because he's kind of the third wheel, so to speak. He's like a half a star. The other two guys are full-on superstars.
Yes.
But is he going to fit in this? Because he will demand his shots. He's just going to take his shots. He's rarely going to pass the basketball. If it touches his hands, I will bet you it will go up.
This is the lineup they started the first preseason game. And this seems to be a lineup that's working very well. Now, when Kuz come back, Avery Bradley or Danny Green's going to have to come to the bench.
Are you sure? Will they try to get Kuzma to come off the bench as instant offense?
They might.
They might.
But he also must understand, Skip, that Green, look, it looks really good now, like you said, but this is the preseason. He's going to have to understand the way they played last year, the free flow and just up and down and just shooting shots, that's not going to work this year. Because you got big guys, you're going to have to play through those guys. You're going to need to play through Anthony Davis. LeBron's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. And look, you're going to be able to get great shots because you have AD on the court and you have LeBron. So a lot of the attention will go on those guys. If you look, Skip, when LeBron threw the no-look pass to Danny Green, there was nobody within 20 feet of him.
Of Danny Green.
Of Danny Green, because of the attention that LeBron commands. So Kuzma's going to get great shots. He just doesn't have to take all those willy-nilly, ill-advised shots. Because sometimes I think, Skip, he's just taking shots I got a green light, I can take it. Now, let Steph have all that green light and James Harden. That's not your game.
Okay, we'll see about that. Which brings me to your new coach. Is he commanding enough to be able to sort of ride herd on all of this star power that he has? Because you got a lot of big personalities. Dwight has a big personality that can be difficult. Dwight was rim crashing last night, the whole night.
Love it.
He played hard. He rebounded hard.
Love it.
Is he willing to continue to do the dirty work? As Mark Jackson made the point on the ESPN telecast, Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer. It's hard for me to go there just because he hasn't won anything. You know, like he's not decorated.
He got a gold medal, 3 defensive player of the year. He's all NBA.
He's got a whole bunch of stuff. He's got a lot of accolades.
Yes.
He just doesn't have a ring.
Yeah.
Could he get one this year? It's possible.
There are a lot of guys in the Hall that didn't have rings.
Okay, all right. But again, in stature, is he a Hall? Yep, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I have a different sort of standard. Maybe everybody gets in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
But Skip, if there's a stretch there, Skip, for about a decade, Dwight Howard was the best defensive player in basketball. And it wasn't close. That stretch when he was in Orlando, Skip, he was dominant. When he got that team, when he was surrounded by those three-point shooters, Turkoglu and Pietrus and Lewis, Skip, he was special. Jameer Nelson, because that's all they had. It was him and three-point shooters.
They wiped out LeBron. Right? So, back to Frank Vogel. So he's got star power to his right and his left on the bench. Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins, guys who have been head coaches, decorated players.
Had success.
Right? Frank Vogel, not a player. Can he survive this. I'm not sure about that. That might be the biggest X factor for your Lakers winning the championship.
It's interesting.
Look, he's had some success. He's guided teams to the
twice to the conference finals in Indiana.
And I mean, it just so happens he had to run up against GOAT James.
Well, no, he ran up against Dwayne Wade too. That's who kept taking him out. Well, Dwayne kept being the guy who took over the series.
Skip, don't do that.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you the truth.
Skip, Dwayne, Skip. See, what you try to do is that you try to, like, when I talk about LeBron, you try to make it seem like I'm diminishing D. Wade, because D. Wade has had some unbelievable games in that series.
He did.
But you know what? But you know what GOAT James did to Paul George.
GOAT James.
You know what he did to Danny and Roy Hibbert. You know what he did.
Okay, well, we'll see just how goatish he is this year, because I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. Yeah. GOAT James is up against the highest degree of difficulty competition he has ever faced in his career, because he used to cakewalk through the East, and last year doesn't even count because he didn't even finish the year.
Right.
But the West got better than it was last year. It
got better.
The West got deeper than it was last year. New Orleans is a legit threat to make the playoffs, and we're going to talk about Zion in a few minutes. Dallas is way better with Porzingis and Doncic than it was last year. They're a threat to make the playoffs. And we're going to talk about the Rockets in a little bit, but I still think the new firepower with Russ is intriguing.
Skip, the point, you keep telling me all these Utah and the Nuggets and this and making the playoffs. Okay, the 8 spots. All I know is we're going to be one of the top 2 seeds, top 3 seeds. We're going to win.
You just went to 3.
We're going to win.
Sure. 2, 3.
They keep on talking about we're going to be 4 or 5. Some people got us missing the playoffs.
Nobody has you missing the playoffs.
We're going to win 56 games. Now, at least 56. Now, where that falls, who knows? I don't think 56 games gets you any less than the 3rd seed.
Okay.
Could be the 2nd seed. But all I'm telling you is this, Skip. You keep on talking about degree of difficulty. Simone Biles is the greatest gymnast ever, and she have a number of moves even named after her. But you have to do the moves in competition a couple of times before they'll name it after you. Well, we got a couple of moves named after us called the James.
Simone Biles doesn't play in the Western Conference. It's hard.
She beat the world.
Yeah.
And that's what we going to do.
But the competition in the West is so deep.
That ain't the world.
It's the deepest it's ever been.
We the best.
I mentioned my Spurs. They're so much better than they were last year.
She's the best in the world.
Watch.
GOAT James is the best in the world, and you're going to watch what happens. Watch.
I saw a quote from LeBron. I think it was after the game. He said that he read yesterday he has 7,000 miles on his body, and it's 7,000. No, I think it's 7,000 miles more than Vince Carter has on his, and that Vince Carter is 7 years older than he is.
Yes.
So can he keep dredging it up? Can he stay healthy? Can AD stay healthy against night after relentless night of Western Conference?
Can they handle us?
Well, that's a good question. I agree, but it's going to be a battle every night. This isn't the old Eastern Conference cakewalk.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I just want the West to know it ain't the same West as it used to be. There's some new sheriffs in town.
Yep. Both of them in L.A.
And,
right?
And guess what? There's a lot of wanted posters. James Harden, Russ,
really?
Paul George, Kawhi, wanted, dead or alive.
Really? Dead or alive?
Yeah, they're bounty on them.
Really? Okay.
I liked your analogy. It was a taste. It was a taste.
A little sample.
We're going to have another taste tomorrow night, their last preseason game at Chase Center. And then Tuesday...
We might not even play.
The big one.
We might not even play.
Yeah, Steph will play, and he'll probably get 50 in that game.
Steph don't want to see us.
No mercy.
LA is expected to have Jalen Ramsay available to play after acquiring him from Jacksonville earlier this week. Hall of Famer Deion Sanders doesn't see Ramsay staying in LA long, Deion said. State taxes could ultimately drive the All-Pro defensive back to sign with another team when his rookie contract is up after next season. In his introductory press conference, though, Ramsay did not hold back his excitement to be playing for the Rams. Take a listen.
I've definitely heard that. I heard the culture here is dope. Can't wait to be a part of it, honestly. I can't wait to, be able to be myself on and off the field and just help the organization in every way that I can. We're super excited. A fresh start, a place like LA with the culture that I've heard about here, and I'm a young guy still. Everybody around here is kind of young. I feel like, it'll be a little bit more understanding So yeah, I was just honestly super excited. I don't know, words can't really describe it.
All right, Shannon, do you like what you heard from Ramsey yesterday?
I do like what I heard. I like that he's excited. And you can understand that he's being excited. I mean, Jack goes from Jacksonville, Skip, to L.A. I mean, there's not a lot what's not to be excited about leaving a situation. And I believe, Skip, look, he did not like the way Tom Coughlin talked to him. There's no love lost between him and the general manager, Dave Caldwell. So it was best that he be removed from that situation. Now, the situation that he's come to, he gets an opportunity. You heard him talk about it. He gets an opportunity to be himself. Tom Coughlin wanted everybody to be like Gattaca. And if you know the movie that I'm talking about.
Very few do. I barely do, but I did watch it.
Everybody looked the same. They dressed the same. They talked the same. Tom Coughlin, and that's what he wants. And he wants to be himself. He wants to have his personality, let his personality show, Skip. And I've said this many a time, Skip. I'm a firm believer. The NFL does not need 1,500 TOs, but they don't need 1,500 Peyton Mannings either. I believe the NFL is large enough for guys to allow their personality to show, as long as they don't become a detriment to the team. What happened is because Coach Coughlin wanted him to be like everybody else, button up, don't say anything, just go play. But that's not this kid's personality. He goes to a place, and Wade Phillips, and I've known Wade since 1990. He was my defensive coordinator when I first set foot in Denver and started playing for the Broncos. I've
probably known him for 35 years. Go ahead.
Wade Phillips will allow Jalen Ramsay to be Jalen Ramsay and to put him in a situation, what do you do best? Skip, watching Wade do, if you can play the run, you're going to play on first and second down. If you get after the quarterback best, you're going to play on third down. If you're a man cover guy, which Jalen Ramsey is, he's going to say, Jalen, get up there, put hands on him, and let's go play. If you're a zone cover guy, he's going to say, okay, we're going to zone it off. We'll give you help over the top. Whatever you do, wherever you can succeed and help this team the most, that's the situation that Wade's going to put you in. Sean McVay lets Wade control the defense. But you heard Sean McVay said, look, I got no problem with the swagger. Anybody that wants to come in and compete on a daily basis, I'm all for that. Well, he has a guy that wants to compete on a daily basis. I believe Jalen wants to win because he knows ultimately that's how you get judged. All this best and number one, this and that, that's good. That's great talking points on social media. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when you walk away from the game, we want to know, how much jewelry did you get? And I ain't talking about he should have, Jared's or K's or anything like that, Zales. He should have went to Elliott. That's what I need to know, Skip. How much jewelry did you get? How much did you win? And ultimately, that's what Jalen wants to do. If he wants to win, okay, I believe he came to the right place. Now, Deion said something, Deion Sanders, primetime, said something very interesting he doesn't know because of the state taxes. Jalen also needs to be careful. You don't want to get labeled as a malcontent. Now, he's already, whether he talked his way or hurt back this way up out of Jacksonville, whatever the case may be, Skip, he got out of that situation. Okay, some people say, you know what, that wasn't the right situation for him. Coach Coughlin and him butted heads, okay, I can see that. But you don't want to go around, well, I don't like this place and I want to go somewhere else, because you don't want that label. You don't want that jacket. You're here. I don't see a scenario, Skip, that they let the kid out because they just gave up 2 first-rounders, 2020, 2021. Now, maybe if they could trade him and get something, okay, I see. But I don't think they're in the business or trading for guys and then letting them go. I believe they got Jalen Ramsay because they want him to be a part of their future. So I like the move. I like what he had to say. And all of a sudden, I think they put some ice hot or something on their back because it seemed healthy.
Oh, he's good to
go. He's probably going to play on Sunday.
The Rams declared him completely healthy.
Hey.
I don't know how.
It's a good sign.
Maybe he had a chiropractor on the plane flying out here to L.A.
Quick adjustment. Ready to go.
It's a miracle. Anyway, quick point about your jewelry store point. Every time Ernestine and I go to the mall, it seems like every other store is a jewelry store. Another one. And I say, how do they all stay in business? Guess how? Everybody's buying jewelry.
Everybody buying jewelry.
Inflated prices. Up.
Wait, why are you pointing at me?
He's old Matt. They say Matt. There's old Matt on the market for something about 15, 20 carats.
Fine.
So, as you point out, the message I got very strongly between the lines from Jalen Ramsay yesterday was, I'm finally free of Tom Coughlin, the drill sergeant. I'm finally free to be me. I'm finally free in a culture that I hear is dope.
Right.
It can be dope in that way because they're all younger stars.
Correct.
And they have a very young coach. It's not much older than
they
some
are.
of them. They are, yeah.
And some of them, well, Whitworth might be older than he is.
Yeah, a little older.
If that.
And he's a cool guy, and he does things that most coaches don't do, so he's going to let us do whatever we like.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit back again, as I've said the last 2 times we talked about Jalen Ramsay, and I say, wait a second, just how stifled was his personality in Jacksonville? Can we count the ways? So he got twice thrown out of games for fighting. Is he afraid of Tom Coughlin then? I don't know. And then at the end of his rookie year, he called for the firing of the entire defensive coaching staff. Stifled? I don't know. He wasn't afraid to do that. Then he did a GQ bombshell interview in which he nuked just about every quarterback in the league, including his new teammate, Jared Goff. Did he feel stifled then?
Skip, I think the thing is that a lot of times when you speak, you're like, I know they're going to be ticked off. You want someone, if I say something, I have their blessing.
To say, that's great. You should just condemn every quarterback that we have to play against, right?
Hey.
Okay.
Back it up.
Yeah. And then he shows up this year, training camp, in a Brinks truck. Stifled personality? Really?
What an entrance.
I don't know. Come on, help me out here. And then it's just been one thing after another. He goes up to New England for the AFC Championship game after he predicted we're going to go to the Super Bowl and win that trophy that he called the B word. And Brady throws for 138 in the fourth quarter and brings them back to victory. And Jalen goes in and says it was the defensive coordinator's fault. We played too much zone. Is that stifled? It just seems like Jalen was always Jalen. Again, to your point, they're not going to applaud him after the game.
Right.
And there probably numerous times Coughlin called him in and said, Jalen, this is not how pros act. I'm sure that's what he said. This is not professional football, the way we play professional football. So I'm just not sure about this because I still see a lot of Odell in Jalen. I still see a lot of diva receiver in Jalen. We don't often see the cornerbacks be like this. Deion had a lot of this in him, but boy, could he back it up. And speaking of Deion's close enough with Jalen that when he says, buyer beware, I would beware of this. I would think he's heard from the horse's mouth that Jalen is thinking, wait a second. And Jalen also made the point, I don't know L.A. So it's not like it was destination glory for him, like I got to get to L.A.
I mean, Skip, when I came out here, I ain't know L.A. either.
You did?
I ain't know L.A.
You did too.
I never wanted to be in L.A., never wanted to live in L.A. Yeah, no, I only came to L.A. like a handful of times. Me and my brother came out here maybe once, twice. Didn't know anything about L.A.
Really?
You've adapted just fine.
I love it.
Really?
Yeah. What? No place better?
Yeah.
I think we're all
ain't
just
going
happy
nowhere.
here.
Ain't going nowhere.
Okay. Well, that could happen to Jalen, but is this state tax really an issue? Because if it is, if he's figured out California, that's one thing you do not love about LA, because it is wicked tax, man. It's hard.
Yeah, it's not good.
Ooh. And they talking about going up to 13%.
Ooh.
Skip, we might have to move the show. We might have to move
the show?
We might have to move the show to us. A more
where can we go?
To
state.
Florida?
No.
Right? Yeah, okay. So it is a big deal.
It is.
Florida, Texas
does
don't have
make a
state
difference.
tax. Okay.
Vegas.
That's
I think Arizona.
That's why Jerry can say to Dak, hey, no state tax. Zeke, no state tax. And it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially when you're making a lot of money, you can save a lot of money on state tax. So is it possible? He did burn Jacksonville once. Is it possible he's going to burn the Rams here? Because is it possible they just rented him for 2 firsts and a fourth?
But here's the thing, though, Skip. They still have his option, his rookie option, and they still got 2 firsts. They still got 2 franchise tags.
Okay, but now Jalen is in the mind of, I can just force my way out anywhere. No. So could he just say, I quit on the Rams? He could. Yeah,
you could, but Skip, you don't want that label of being a malcontent.
Interesting.
And that's going to be very, very interesting for him. I think, look, if he wins, I think that's going to be the telltale. I think what happened with Jacksonville, I believe he could have stomached Tom Coughlin. I believe he could have stomached Dave Caldwell if they had won more. They only had that one season, Skip, and really wish they won. Yeah, they went to. I think they went to the playoffs the next year, and they ended up losing to Buffalo. I think Tyrod Taylor ended up beating them. But he's used to winning. He wants to win big because when you win big, because if you think about it, Skip, until Richard Sherman started winning big, Sherman talked a little bit, but his voice got louder once he started winning Super Bowls. Once he started going to Super Bowls, he started becoming a perennial All-Pro. Well, Jalen Ramsay, you could talk all you want to. Okay, yeah, you say you're the best corner. What has that got in your team?
One thing I always appreciated about Richard, he talked and talked, but in the team concept, he was all for the unity of the team. They worked very together because they were the Legion of Boom, right?
Sure. Yes.
And they were like veteran leaders in the locker room, and everybody pulled together.
And the thing is, Skip, a lot of those guys, most of those guys came in together, or they were basically a year apart. Like
they did.
Sherm and Earl and Cam and Bobby, all those guys were like came in together. So obviously they're going to be a lot closer than, say, maybe Jalen, who came in like 3 or 4, and Calais, who's a big acquisition. He's a free agent, but Calais was like an 8-9 year vet by the time he got to Jacksonville.
Yep.
So I think he's going to be happy. I like the move, but we're going to find out. So he doesn't have any better situation. He got a great situation. He goes to a defensive coordinator. I promise you, Wade Phillips is a better D coordinator than what he left.
Yep.
And Wade will put him in a situation where he can succeed. It's on him now.
Okay. It's also on Wade because they've given up the 23rd most points scored in the league so far, which is mind-boggling to me because you keep telling me he's got the best player in all of football anchoring his defensive line.
He's starting to heat up, too.
Okay, we'll see.
Starting to heat up, too.
Good luck.
He's set to make $13.7 million next year in that 5th year of his deal. So I know the taxes are bad, but 13.7. It's hard for me to feel sorry for him.
Everything else is good. You got water, not to partake in the water, don't need the water, but you got sun. If you don't like 85 and sunny, 355 days a year, LA ain't for you.
Okay.
They got some other things. They got the 3 W's out here, but I ain't gonna tell you what the 3 W's stand for. I'll let you figure that out.
Trying to figure it out on the fly.
I gotta think. Yeah, that. Oh, and then when it comes to you.
Yeah. They got the 3 Dubs.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon, for clearing that up.
Yep.
Rams planning to embrace his swag. I think he will fit in just fine.
No mercy.
Let's talk Eagles-Cowboys, shall we? Pro Football Focus has broken down all of the 32 offenses through 6 weeks using their expected points added metric. The Chiefs came in at number 1, while Skip's Cowboys followed right behind at 2nd overall, ahead of their huge matchup with the Eagles on Sunday. Pro Football Focus said Dallas has one of the most improved and best offenses so far this season behind Dak's performance. Philly, however, came in at 15th on the list due to its poor performance by the receiving corps. So, Shannon, do you have a problem with this?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, I got a problem with it. Major problem. Oh, so they got one.
What's your problem?
Oh, hold on. They got one of the most improved offenses thanks to that genius. Skip, if you don't mind me asking, through the first 6 games last year, what was their record?
I know it got to 3-5. That's all I know.
Jenny, just because Skip won't answer the question, they were 3-3.
Thank you for
They so improved.
clearing that up.
They got the exact same record this year as they had last year. Now, if you go back and look at the first 3 games, if you go by the first 3 games, Skip, I would agree with him. They were 4th in scoring, 32.3 a game, 3rd in rushing. But the last 3, 23rd in scoring, 18.7. 20th in rushing. What am I missing, Skip? The last 3 games, they got 9 points in the first half. Is that a good offense? The last 3 games, when the game was within 1 score, Dak Prescott has scored the exact same number of touchdowns as I have. And I hadn't been on the football field in 15 years. 0. But that's a good offense. I'm missing something, Skip Bayless.
Is that all you got? My turn?
No, it's not your turn. Oh, you like Pro Football Focus, huh? Skip, did you know Pro Football Focus got walking to him, ranked number 2 behind Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
You like Pro Football Focus? They say
I do, actually. I do. Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn.
Okay.
It's not your turn. This is some bull jive, and you know it, Skip Bayless. You know, you say you're an eye test guy. You watching the last 3 weeks, you think that's a good offense? A good offense don't fall behind 31-3. A good offense don't fall behind 21-3. A good offense don't lose ball games 12-10. That's a good offense to you, really? Yeah, you had a good offense when you beat Miami, 1-0 game. You had a good offense when you beat Washington, 1-1 game. You had a good offense when you beat the Giants with Eli, the 1-2 game. Stop this. This is utterly ridiculous. You know good and well they ain't got no second best offense in the league. They had the second best offense, they'd be better than 3-3.
You know what? I agree with you. They do not have the second best offense. They actually have the first best offense, says Pro Football Focus, which is why I do believe in Pro Football Focus. You also miss the point that when they just rank offenses, just pure offense, not with their estimated points added system, but just pure offenses, Dallas is ranked number 1 and Philly's ranked 4th. So now you're more in line with what you think, except Dallas is ranked number 1 overall.
You're right, they are ranked. They stink. The last 3 weeks they've been stank. They need to put some deodorant on them. Stank, rank. That's what you mean, rank.
So the stat that I love the most is that what receiving core by far leads the National Football League through 6 games in drops? Drops by far is Dallas. 16 drops.
That's some bull jazz.
Okay, they factor that in. QBR factors that in, which is why my quarterback is ranked number 1 in QBR. He's not ranked, he just has the best QBR. That's a stat that is hard to earn, and he's number 1 through 6 games, and factored in is the 16 times he's thrown big passes that got dropped. So, what do I see here? Am I reading a lot into this? I'm not, because the expected points added metric, it's like 3rd level, and it's basically potential. They're saying from play to play, they like the potential of Dak throwing it or Zeke running it better than just about any other team's potential. So what do we have here? What's my biggest takeaway? Well, I keep hearing this from the Hall of Famer across from me about Patrick Mahomes, who's become a road boy until tonight, because I'm not sure he's going to win this game tonight. But the point is, this is your Super Bowl team, am I right? And what do you tell me? The defense is horrible. So it's not Patrick Mahomes' fault. It's the defense's fault. My defense has been horrible for the last 3 games. The truth is, it's been pretty horrible for 6 games.
The offense, too.
Okay? My defense has been horrible. My quarterback has the 3rd most passing yards in all of pro football. So he's just throwing the heck out of it.
Why?
But the guy across from me says he can't throw. Interesting. Okay, can't throw. So they can't stop anybody, so they fall behind quickly, and the drops are huge, especially the Amari drop early in the Green Bay game just flipped the script right away because it hits him right here, and it pops up in the air, and it's intercepted and returned 50 yards. The whole field flipped, and the game flipped right on its head. It could have been 7-0 Dallas. All of a sudden, it's 7-0 Aaron Rodgers, and here they go. And Aaron Jones just runs wild and catches wild on my defense. They can't stop anybody, and my quarterback just keeps playing and playing and playing, and you keep, because you're dug in because you think he's a bust, and you just keep saying it's the quarterback's fault, but you won't say it's Mahomes' fault. It's the defense's fault in Kansas City, and I say it's the defense's fault in Dallas. It's the defense's fault.
Hold on. Now, if Dak had 14 touchdowns and 1 interception, as opposed to 11 and 6, okay.
16 drops?
Whoa, Skip. Stop this. Because what they're doing, see, the reason why I don't put no stock in QBR, because the way they weight it. If I'm ahead by 14 points with 5 minutes to go in the ball game and I throw an interception, it doesn't have the same weight as if I'm behind. No. An interception is
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And potential.
Sorry.
You talk about from play to play.
That's smart.
Stop.
That's smart. You just want them to add up. I got to have interceptions for Dak Prescott. That's all I got.
He got 6.
That's all I got.
He got 6. My homeboy got 1. But anyway, as I was saying, potential.
Your homeboy just lost 2 games at home.
Your guy lost.
You like that?
Hold on. How many games your guy lost?
He's lost 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Let me finish. You talk about, what they're saying is from potential, from Dak throwing and Zeke running. You know what potential means? Mean you ain't done bleep yet.
Okay,
you
I'll
know
buy
what
that.
Bleep is.
I'll buy that.
So, Skip, all I know is this. When you guys got behind 31-3, guess what? Dak had 463 passes. How many yards did he pass for when you lost 12-10, when the game was nip and tuck? Okay, he had a monster day throwing the foot. What did he do again when he down 21-3? See, Skip, you see what you're doing is that you're getting those empty calories to get Skip.
Empty calories almost got 2 victories.
Almost.
Came within an onside kicker coming back from 31-3. It's extraordinary.
Skip onside.
It would have been the greatest comeback in the history of the regular season.
Skip, in order for it to be great, you got to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't come back.
Okay, well, it was
Skip,
real close.
Skip, all I'm
and you were sweating, man.
Okay. The game was, you said the
By
interception.
the way, he threw for 323 in the second half.
Okay.
You like that?
He threw for Skip, he threw for 323 in the second half. But let me ask you a question, and you love to do this. You bring this up last year, but your quarterback threw for 253 yards in the fourth quarter in overtime against the Eagles.
243 up.
If you don't mind me asking, did QBR factor in that the guy at the end of the game-winning touchdown that Amari caught, the DB tipped it and should have intercepted? Did that weight in the QBR?
Probably it did.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
All they gave him was a touchdown, and it weighted his QBR in his favor.
I
don't
don't think he had a good QBR because he threw too many interceptions.
Oh.
As you said, he dug the hole and dug him back out.
Oh,
but he did dig him out.
But all I'm saying in Green Bay, Murray had the interception, the drop. Okay, You said it was drop. I thought he was behind it. 7-0. Green Bay kicks the ball off to Dallas. What did Dak do with the football then? Was that the defense's fault?
Okay, let's get back to the guy you say drives that train, Ezekiel Elliott. And they keep sort of going back to the well, the Zeke well, and it seems to be drier and drier. He's now plummeted to 6th in the NFL in rushing, which is shocking because he's dominated.
Plummeted.
Yep.
Plummeted.
Okay, well, he's plummeted to 6th. And it was interesting that even Zeke brought this up because this play knocked me off my seat. I was like rolling on the floor. It's 7-0 the Jets after they had let Sam Darnold just go right down the field, just like moonwalking down the field backwards.
Backwards.
He just moonwalked all the way down the field into the end zone.
Yes.
We got this. My defense doesn't show up. And so it's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And can we see this play, please? Zeke to the right, behind Travis Frederick. Travis Frederick, break it out. He's got Travis Frederick. And Zeke said, I should have taken that to the house and it would have changed the whole game. Just go to the sideline and go. Where is the burst? What have I told you from day one this year? I'm not seeing the burst I used to see.
He misread it. What he should have done
is break it outside.
No, dip inside to set him up inside and then bounce it because Travis Frederick is there.
Okay, but you can go off his hip. He's 325 pounds and he is in motion.
Yep.
He is in motion, and he cuts it completely up inside and gets shoestring tackled, and it goes for 12 yards. Okay, I'm just telling you, it's a fine line in this league between winning and losing.
Yeah, and you guys have been losing.
And Zeke is on the wrong side of the fine line.
No, the Cowboys are on the wrong side.
Okay, but you tell me that he drives the train, right?
But you telling me your guy drives the train.
Okay, well, that's what I think, and he's been driving it, but he gets no help. The offensive line has gotten overmatched 2 or 3 times that it shocked me. Obviously, they're down both their starting tackles right now.
Is Pro Football Focus not factoring this in?
No, they factored in. They're seeing the potential in Zeke. He's had a couple of, he went over 100 against the Jets, but there were so many plays he left on the field like that one.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's where I say, no, Dak didn't leave any plays on the field.
Skip.
Dak was on his back for most of the game.
Skip. My thing is that his stats are weighted. They're padded because in the meaningful ball games, when the score, when the game was within one score, Dak has 0 touchdowns.
Okay. Here's the stat of the day for the Dallas Cowboys involving Ezekiel Elliott, and Shannon Sharpe is going to have no comeback for this one because as a rookie, Zeke Elliott had 5 carries that went 30-plus yards.
Yes.
Since then, in 31 games that he's played since then, he has 4 such carries that went 30-plus. And this year, he has no such carries that went 30-plus in 6 games since he came back from Cabo and got his money.
Right.
That is stunning to me. And I'm going to remind everybody, where he first caught my eye and took my breath away was his sophomore year at The Ohio State down the stretch when he goes, listen to these yards, against Michigan, 121 in the big rivalry game, Wisconsin Big Ten Championship, 220, Bama, St. Nick in the national semifinal, 230, Oregon in the national final, 246. He averaged 8.8 yards a carry in those 4 games, 4 big games. 8.8, and every time I looked up, he was loose. And he was rolling. He looked like he ran 4.3.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing that guy this year.
Yeah, the holes in college are a lot different than the holes in the NFL.
But I'm talking about burst.
Yes.
I'm talking about sudden, where all of a sudden he hits that gear where you're saying, whoosh, he's gone. He's just gone. You give him a crack, and he's gone. At Ohio State, or even as a rookie, you give him that play that went for 12 yards, he's just so gone.
Yeah.
Oh, but Scott, I never saw the Saquon Barkley bust. I never saw that home run hit your head on the goalpost like you see with Saquon.
Okay.
But
I do. I did.
Skip, I'm asking you this. Why is it over the last 3 games when the game was within one score, Dak Prescott has 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions? That's not the defense. I'm asking you about Dak. Why does Dak have 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions?
Which interceptions are we talking about? The one to Amari's not his fault.
No, I'm saying, okay, take the interception. Why doesn't Dak have any touchdown passes when the game within one score in the last 3 ball games? Why is that?
You mean early in the game?
At any point in the game, when the game within one score, why doesn't Dak have a touchdown?
He tied the Jets with his legs. Am I right about that? Did he score a touchdown to tie the game or get him within 2?
Is he a running back or is he a quarterback?
Well, he's both. He's really good with his legs, and we haven't seen that utilized.
But see, when I tell you Aaron Rodgers can do things with his legs that Tom Brady, why do they have to? Because Tom Brady got the arm. Bing, 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 bing. Why can't Dak? Bing, 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 bing.
Shannon, he's doing it all game long, every game, and you'll give him 0 credit.
What are you doing?
He is still the most underappreciated, over-criticized quarterback in the history of this league.
What is he doing?
Number 1 in QBR. Number 1 says Pro Football Focus. It has nothing to do with QBR in offense because of the quarterback. Thank you.
No.
Now, again, they're going to have to live up. They're going to have to do it because they're leaving too many estimated points added. They're estimated, but they're not added. That's what's happening.
So I'm trying to figure what. So estimate. So should I add? Because the first 3 games they averaged 32, and the next 3 they averaged 18. So I should estimate they should get 13 more points.
I don't know, but they're basing this on they love Kellen Moore, and I keep telling you what's happening. Jason Garrett's taking over the offense.
You know what I love? I love when guys come to my restaurant and they order them W's.
Yeah.
But your guy been coming to my restaurant the last 3 years and getting them flaming hot L's. That's what he get.
Patrick Maroon, he keeps coming and say, I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about Mahomes. I'm talking about Dak.
He's had a few L's lately too, though, Shannon, which is hard for you.
He'll call a few.
No mercy. So the Broncos host the Chiefs tonight on Thursday Night Football on Fox. The Chiefs have dropped their last 2 games and have failed to score more than 24 points in both of those losses. Meanwhile, the Broncos have been on an upswing, winning their last 2 games after a slow start to the season. So, Shannon, who wins tonight?
Oh, man.
How you doing?
Oh, man.
This is a tough one for you.
Skip, I'm taking the Broncos. I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in the Chiefs defense. The Broncos really have I don't think people realize how good a defense the Broncos have. They're 4th overall, 4th in pass D, 7th in points allowed. Their defense has been very good. It's just their offense haven't given them the balance that they need. But because the Chiefs defense is so bad, the Broncos can run the football. Phillip Lindsay and Freeman can really run the football.
I agree.
And they're going to need to do that tonight. Look, you can say all this you want to about, play man coverage and try to pressure Pat Mahomes all you want to. The best way to beat the Chiefs is to keep Pat Mahomes and that offense on the sideline. That's how they lost the last 2 weeks. Indy controlled the ball for over 37 minutes. The Texans controlled the ball for 40 minutes. If you want to win the ball game, that's how you do it. You limit his possessions. Obviously, he's not going to have the ball 10, 12 possessions in those 20 minutes, Skip, obviously. So if you can keep him somewhere 9 or less possessions, your chance of winning that ball game greatly increases. So the Broncos D is starting to heat up. The first 3 games, they had no takeaways, they had no sacks. Last 12 sacks over the last 3 games, 6 takeaways in the last 2 games. I'm going to take the Broncos at home in a close one. I'm going to say they win 27-23.
So, what a difference 2 weeks makes in the National Football League. Fortunes rise, fortunes fall on face. Shannon Sharpe's Super Bowl pick preseason, Kansas City Chiefs, started out 4-0, and the MVP race was over.
Skip, I did not say that. I say he was in the catbird seat.
I think we got an O-V-E or O-V-A. Ova.
Yeah.
Right? Ova.
Where are we at now?
At that point, the Denver Broncos were a disaster. 0-4.
Yes.
4-0 in Kansas City, division arch rival, 0-4.
Yes.
What are we going to do with the Broncos? They're just a sad shell of themselves, right?
You hurt me.
And 2 weeks changes everything.
Yep.
And I got to give it up to Vic Fangio.
Yep.
A lot of respect for him. Wasn't sure how he'd be as a head coach. But, boy, he just rolled up his sleeves and said, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm going to make lineup changes. I'm going to make scheme changes. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to start a new fire in that locker room. Or people, heads are going to roll and people are going to exit stage left. right?
Yep.
So, meanwhile, in Dallas, Jason Garrett just keeps doing what he does. He just keeps doing it's business as usual, meeting time same, no lineup changes. We're a good football team, and we're just going to keep doing what we do.
Well, the difference is John Elway has empowered Vic Fangio to make changes.
All right.
And Jerry Jones has not done that with Jason Garrett.
Okay, so all of a sudden, everything flipped to the point that the league has figured out the Chiefs, and you're pinning almost all of the blame on the defense. And I agree with you, it's not very good. I just told you, Dallas's defense is not much better than Kansas City's.
It's a lot better.
No, it's not much. It's got more talent than Kansas City's, although you thought Kansas City's had reinvigorated itself with Honey Badger.
Skip, I didn't think they could get worse than last year because they were pretty bad. They were pretty bad last year.
But they made some nice additions. New coordinator, right?
Yeah, but now they can't stop the run or the pass.
Okay, so they can't stop anything. And for 4 games, Denver could do nothing.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Joe Flacco is game managing at a pretty high level.
Right.
He's got the 11th best QBR. Dak's number 1, but he's 11th, which is high for Flacco in the regular season.
Yes.
I know he's been extraordinary in the post.
Yes.
But he's just what the doctor ordered for John Elway in Denver right now because Philip Lindsay, local kid, made great.
I love him.
You know, he's a good kid.
Yes.
And he's fun to watch, and he runs hard, and he's made to be he's born to be a Bronco, right?
Yep.
100%.
Okay, so now he's just what the doctor ordered against this team.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure he'll get 100-something tonight, right?
He's going to need that.
Okay.
They're going to need to possess the ball to keep Mahomes off.
And all of a sudden, the defense is just flying around. And to your point, it created 3 turnovers against the Chargers and then 3 turnovers last week against Tennessee.
Got Marcus Mariota benched.
Got him benched, if not done. They might have gotten him done in Tennessee.
You might be right.
Right?
You might be right.
Okay. By the way, I never liked Marcus Mariota, and I said before the draft, I just don't love him. And again, that's the guy who torched my Cowboys last year, and now it looks like he's on the outs.
But yeah, both quarterbacks from that draft are turnover machines.
They are.
Jameis
They are.
and Marcus.
I agree. And I took Jameis over, and he has been a little better, but not much.
Not much.
Not much. I would agree. So there's a classic draft. Which one's going to be the great franchise? How about neither of them?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a neither.
Sometimes is the case.
I know. Sometimes.
One is buffalo dung and the other is camel dung.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think
those
I'll
are
take
not good
buffalo
names
dung.
to be compared to.
Yeah, okay. So here's the point. They create 3 turnovers and 3 turnovers, and that's been the key difference.
Correct.
The defense is flying around, and I think it will fly around again tonight, and I am with you. I think lower scoring. I think they will control the football, and it'll be like 35-25, maybe even 40-20-ish time of possession.
It needs to be. It's going to have to be.
Yep. And I got lower score. I got 23-20.
23-20.
Blueprint was first shown to the league at Detroit when Kansas City went to Detroit. And then Indy goes in there and wins at Arrowhead, and it was 19-13. So I'm going to go a little lower scoring, 23-20. And yet I'm going to remind everybody, at one point Denver was 0-4, and now you're picking them as a 3-point underdog at home to beat your Super Bowl team.
And the thing is, Skip, they lost 2 games with walk-offs. Chicago beat them on a walk-off, and Jacksonville beat them on a walk-off. So they could easily
in Denver.
In Denver,
yeah.
Exactly right.
Okay. So how are you going to feel about your Super Bowl pick if they fall to 4-3?
I'm not going to feel good, but they can turn it around. Skip, ain't no help, at least for you. You can say, and I give you a hard time about the Cowboys, but at least you can say, Lyle Collins at some point is coming back. Tyron Smith at some point is coming back.
I'm not sure it's this Sunday.
Right. Amari Cooper, whether he plays or not, but he will come back.
I will give you this. No season-ending injuries yet that I know of, except for Tyrone Crawford. Yeah.
There's nobody that can come in for Kansas City on defense that can help them. The help that they need is in that building. That's all they got.
Yeah, which is why I thought they would be in the Jalen Ramsey Derby.
Yes.
I thought the Eagles would be right in the Derby.
Now, my homeboy is capable of going nuclear.
Okay.
But I just hope it's not on us.
Us? So you're still I thought you were an us for Kansas City.
No. Over the Broncos?
Well, you always call we. You say we,
said that before.
As long as we're not playing us, it's a we.
It's just who you're
But when it's playing us, I'm a us.
So Patrick Mahomes turned you into a Chief, and it was your most hated rival as a player when you were in Denver.
No, Raiders are our most hated rival.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Really? I would think that's a close call.
We had Raider week.
Well,
yeah, we hate the Raiders. We hate Kansas City too.
Well, I know.
Yeah, we hate Kansas City.
I thought it was kind of a toss.
You just love.
We fighting everybody.
Mahomes.
The Raiders, we just knew it was going to be a fight. There's going to be some face masks and some shoving. You know, it's going to be some nasty play out there with Kansas City and the Raiders. But just
and
the
you
Raiders.
love the Chargers, right?
We beat the Chargers. Chargers
They were like no factor.
Yeah, Chargers. It's Chargers and Seattle. Seattle was in our division too. We beat the brakes off them too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They just had him in town last week, so he's got to be nice.
Yeah, we got this.
Still treating him well.
Are you picking it because you want your parking pass or because you really believe it?
I'm good.
That didn't answer the question.
I'm good either way. I'm good. I'm good. Broncos.
So this was politically correct pick?
No. Skip, I just believe the Broncos, what I've seen offensively, the Chiefs' defense can be had by basically anyone.
Even Joe Flacco.
Because we don't need Joe Flacco to throw for 300.
No.
We need Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman to be able to control the football. Mm-hmm. Can they get 150? Can they get 175 and can control the clock and keep Mahomes on the field? Now, if you think you can let Mahomes, the time of possession can be even, 30-30 or 31-29, and you can beat him like that, that's not happening. That's not happening. No.
Right.
Mahomes throwing any picks tonight?
I hope he give us a couple.
Yeah.
Couple.
I hope he give us a couple.
Ooh,
we can show you a couple. We can show you a couple of them.
That's your runaway MVP.
Skip.
Couple.
Skip.
Said the Hall of Famer.
I want to win this game.
Okay.
As much as I don't love Pat Mahomes more than I love the Broncos.
Huh.
No, hell no.
So you love the Broncos more than your Super Bowl pick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this could be big damage to Super Bowl
I
pick.
don't care.
Yeah.
If they don't win another game, I'm never taking the Chiefs over the Broncos.
Because my road boy is starting to look like a road wild card team.
But I tell
right?
you what, who I won't be picking on December 8th.
I
Really?
think I know the answer to that one.
Really? Are you sure about that?
100.
I know the answer
Really?
to that one.
100.
I'll take 2 cases right now on the home team on December 8th.
No?
Ain't no telling. My homeboy might not be playing. He might be resting. You might have the division sold up in December.
Just going to take the day off that one.
Okay.
No mercy.
Zion Williamson has not slowed down from his hot start this preseason. In only 27 minutes a game, Zion has averaged over 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. No rookie in the past 20 years has ever averaged over 20 points in the preseason. The Pelicans have also won all 4 games this preseason, and their final game is tomorrow against R.J. Barrett and the Knicks. So, Shannon, how much stock do you put in Zion's preseason numbers?
For me, I'm not putting a whole lot of stock, Skip. I mean, LeBron didn't. He turned out all right. Kevin Durant didn't. D. Rose. Some of these guys didn't have 20 points a game in the in the preseason and won Rookie of the Year, won MVPs, won NBA titles. So I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in it. I think the biggest thing for me is that when I watch the preseason, how does the team gel? Are they showing continuity?
Okay.
Working on things like that. Look. He did hit an outside shot the other night, Skip. I think he hit a 3-point shot. I forget who it was against. And so that's what I want to see a new wrinkle. I want to see him develop that. He's shooting a high percentage because a lot of his shots are coming within the painted area, dunks, layups. But Skip, he's a load. The guy's 285 pounds. He's 6'6", and he can create space. He's more bendy than you think. And for a guy that size, he can get in the air and he can contort his body.
Good point.
Big guys don't normally have that kind of ability. So he's more agile. I know, he's almost like a dancing bear. I mean, you knew he was athletic, Skip, because he got bounced. You watch him, you're like, dang, dude can get off the floor and in a hurry.
Quick.
And get back. I mean, I've never seen anybody that can, that size, get off the floor, come back and get right back up again. He can do that. But, Skip, I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in he's averaging 23 points because that means nothing to me.
Okay.
Is the team growing? And it looks like they are. But I think he'll probably average somewhere between, he might even average 20 points a night because he's going to probably get 3 or 4 lobs at the bare minimum from Lonzo. He'll catch you slipping, get a putback and dunk on somebody's head. So, but I'm not concerned with what he's doing right now, Skip.
No rookie has averaged 20-plus points in 20 years in the preseason.
Right.
Ever.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to tell you, even though I don't want to heap undue pressure on this kid, I just don't think it's undue. I don't think pressure will undo this kid. He's even better than I thought he was, and I thought he was going to be a lot better than you thought. this is the rarest blend of power and explosion and touch, because you want to talk about finishing with force and finesse. The play that caught my eye the other night was against Utah, and the back-to-back last 2 years reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert.
Stifle Tower.
What is he, 7'1"?
Yeah.
And if we could see this, Zion just goes right up into him, and at the last second, he's got him back on his heels. And at the last second, once he bounces him back and creates a little space, remember, Zion's 6'6" versus 7'1".
Correct. Yeah.
And there's capability of getting embarrassed here, right? You're going to have to eat this one. And at the last second, he just flips it. He just extends left arm over here and just flips it real sweet up off the glass.
No problem, yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Like, I got this. Like, you're not even thinking I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to go over here and just do this.
And the thing is, he knows that a shot blocker, what do, Skip? You get in his chest.
Okay.
He put his chest to chest, created space.
He created space. And Rudy was, dare I say, a little intimidated because he was kind of like teetering. The Stifle Tower was teetering backward a little bit.
Right.
And I think Rudy ran up the court thinking, this kid is for real.
Yeah.
This is the truth. And again, as a finisher, I don't know about his shot. I like the stroke. I like the mechanics of it. I like the touch of it. And it will just get better and better.
Yes.
But right now, I'm not concerned with the shot because he's so explosive around the rim and he's so creative with both hands that as a finisher, I'm not sure there's going to be anybody much better finishing than this kid will be this year, which is why the ESPN Top 100 rankings, remember we went back and forth because we both thought you got Clay at 49 and we're like, okay, you're disqualified if you got him at 49.
Right.
He's better than 49. But Zion was 42 and you thought that was way too high.
Right.
I don't think that's too high, and in fact, that might be a little low right now. He's a top 30 player, I think, already. And again, I'm just heaping more pressure on this. He's such a great kid, and he's so much fun to watch because he's such joy he plays with and such passion and energy. But the team is fun to watch.
Yes.
It is must-see TV, and to your point about gelling, they got so much young talent built around Drew Holiday, who's the veteran leader of the team, that they're 4-0 so far. They had one close game. They came back and won at Chicago, which was kind of weird, but they won it. In the bench, the starters are all just leaping for joy on the bench. So the team is coming together. The draft picks look like they can both play, and that's a surprise to me because they didn't take Darius Garland with the fourth overall pick from Vanderbilt, who's doing really well for Cleveland, but whatever. They got all kinds of depth of talent on this team, and I think they're all watching him saying, look what we got.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly it looks from just watching in the preseason, he's their best player right now. No question, he's their best
better
player.
be.
Yeah,
he is.
And the thing is, Skip, they're gonna get up and down. The set offense is not gonna be them. They're young, they're athletic. The best route for them to win is to get up and down the court.
You got it.
Is to pace everybody.
Which is why I believe Lonzo Ball just figuratively died and went to heaven in New Orleans, right? He died in L.A. and went to heaven in New Orleans.
He doesn't realize it, Skip, because it's definitely a change in location, obviously, but lifestyle. It's definitely a lifestyle change. But basketball-wise, style-wise, for his style of play, he couldn't ask for anything.
How could you?
He could not.
You couldn't make it up any better, right?
Because really, now he's going to have the ball in his hands more times than not. He's not going to have to worry about LeBron having the ball in his hand, Rondo having the ball in his hand. More times than not, he will have the ball. Drew Holiday really loves playing off the ball. He's really a two. Now, he can play the point, but he really loves playing off the ball. And this suits Lonzo really well because he got a guy that can jump out of the building. Lonzo's going to throw about 4 or 5 lobs a night to this kid.
He will.
And this kid's going to catch some people napping. Like, they're just waiting. The ball going to come down in my arms. And he's going to dunk right on the head. He's going to be a lot of posters.
And obviously, we saw what happened to Giannis, conference finals. They built a wall. So is that going to happen to Zion at some point? Will somebody just build a wall and say, you can't come in here anymore? Maybe. But I do think he will turn out to be a better shooter than Giannis has proven to be.
But, Skip, you can do that in a series because you focused on one opponent. It's going to be hard to do that because you see this guy, and then you got to worry about somebody else the next night. And you got to worry about somebody else the next night. Whereas they were just focused on Giannis. Okay, this is how we're going to approach it. We got Giannis on Tuesday. We got Giannis again on Friday. We got Giannis again on Sunday. They can't do that with this kid. I'm sure they're going to look, we just got to try and keep him out the paint. Well, good luck with that. They said that about Charles Barkley. Let's keep him out the paint.
That's true.
Good luck.
And Giannis, for all of his gifts and all of his athletic ability, he doesn't play with the power this kid plays with, because this is 285 of raw power.
Well, Skip, a Mack truck doesn't have to be going that fast to do damage. The kid is 285. Giannis is what? Giannis is what? 225, 235?
I know.
But he's almost 7 foot tall. I mean, you put 285.
And the old cliche about you don't know your own strength. He doesn't know his own strength
He does not.
yet. Yeah.
No. I mean, he's still a kid. I mean, he has a grown man body.
He does.
But he's still a kid. I mean, 19.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
he's
fun to
with a
watch.
good veteran coach who will get the best out of all these kids, Alvin Gentry.
He's
a good man.
Skip, I just hope he has a nutritionist, a
I
full-time
know.
full-time chef.
And I agree. I do agree. Because you need to stay a little bit sleeker so that your joints don't take quite the pound.
Yeah,
Because to your point about quick jumping, boom, boom, he's going to come down with a lot
of force.
Yep.
And, you know, New Orleans,
Yep.
you know, they cook everything with gravy.
I mean, he doesn't have to eat
sauce.
everything with gravy.
I mean, what name the healthy spot you know of in New Orleans?
That's actually a good point. I don't know.
Where you going to
Good
get?
question.
Where you going to get? I'm sure they do.
Love
So
those
where are you
bananas.
going? I haven't seen a vegan restaurant. I've been down there a couple of times. I'm just waiting to see the vegan restaurant pop up.
Yeah. I took
Maybe you should start one down there.
I took Ernestine there one time.
Yeah.
And we're walking down Bourbon Street to find a restaurant. And she said, you know what? You're going to have to give it up tonight.
Exactly.
Right?
Cheat meal? Cheat meal for you guys? All right.
No mercy.
The Cowboys host the Eagles on Sunday night, with both teams sitting atop of the NFC East at 3-3. Ezekiel Elliott said the game is going to be a, quote, dogfight on the other side. Carson Wentz said he knows that the rivalry is real and that most Philly fans only care about beating Dallas. Both teams are coming off of losses, but the Cowboys have dropped their last 3, which means we've got Fox Sports contributor Rob Parker with us. And, you know, Rob, only appropriate for you to weigh in on this one.
Yep.
So what shot do you give the Cowboys to end this losing streak?
Slim to none.
Shot.
Once in a lifetime. This is the way I'm looking at it, Shannon, all right? And Skip, pay attention. This is going to be one of those situations where we get to see Carson Wentz, the elite quarterback, outshine the fraudulent elite quarterback in Dak Prescott. This is it. In the last 3 weeks, Eagles are 2-1. I know they're coming off the loss. 6 touchdowns for Wentz, 1 pick. Dak, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's been playing, I don't care what the QBR says, some bad football at the quarterback position. And when you look at Wentz, I know they're going to Big D and everything, right? They also went to Green Bay when their season was on the line. Do you remember that? Cowboys were 3-0, blowing everybody out the water. Everybody was like, oh, the division is going to be the Cowboys, because the Eagles had to go to Green Bay and win a football game. And Wentz, 3 touchdowns, no picks, played big in that game. That was a must-win game to save their season. I believe here, Wentz will once again go on the road, do what they need to do, which is to beat he smells the blood in the water. The Cowboys have got some other injuries. They're wounded. They're banged up. And this is their opportunity to take control of the division. I really believe that. If Wentz can go in there, play good football, give them a chance, win this football game, they take the lead in the division, they can continue to go where they need to go. I think this is extremely important. Cowboys lose another one, lose 4 in a row, give up the division lead, which looked like was going to be, when we go back to that Green Bay game, they were playing New Orleans without Drew Brees, right?
Yeah.
That should have been 4-0, skipped it, right?
Yeah, it should have been.
Remember, New Orleans didn't
good.
score a touchdown in that game.
Yeah. What's New Orleans done without?
No,
help me out.
I'm saying going into that, you didn't believe it. They should have been 4-0,
Whoa.
and the Eagles should have lost.
Pro Football Focus, Dallas Cowboys got the best offensive football.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right here, right now. That's not 3 weeks ago. That's
Current.
Right now. So the best offensive football went to New Orleans without Drew Brees, but we talking about
That's
that.
something else.
Yeah, we talk about that. Hold on. What shot do you give the Eagles?
No, the Cowboys.
What shot do you give the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Hold on.
See, we're talking the Cowboys like they're the underdog.
Hold
Like
on.
they got no shot.
Help me understand this. Cowboys have the best offense in football. That's what Pro Football Focus says, and Skip swears by that. That's his Bible. That's his sports Bible, not his literal Bible.
I understand.
But that's his sports Bible.
I would hope it's not his literal.
Yeah. That's his, yeah. Now, the Cowboys are also his Super Bowl pick. And he got a question up here talking about what chance do you get a Cowboy? The team that has the best offense in the NFL. The team that's picked to represent the NFC.
Right, the question is...
Good point, Shannon. You finally made a good point.
The question is backwards.
That is correct. It has come to this for my Cowboys. Wait, they're 3-point favorites on Sunday at home. And what shot do you give them?
Hold on, Skip. With the quarterback that got the best QBR in football. QBR, QBR tells all.
Oh, yeah.
QBR is like a crystal. QBR is the crystal ball for football players because it evaluates the player's scale of 0 to 100, 50 being average, takes into account like running and things of that nature. They got him. And what chance do I get a Cowboy? The Cowboys should be favored by 14. With that offense, with that quarterback at home, and limp it to them.
How could it be 3? They give anybody 3 when you play at home. Don't you automatically get 3?
Yeah, so they're just basically saying it's 50-50.
That's an automatic 3 points.
And what chance does the Eagle have with Limpet? What's the name, Skip? Limp it to him.
Or stare him down, Wentz.
Is that a stare him down?
Some receivers down, man.
What old throw?
I'm gonna just throw it as hard as I can to that guy.
What about throwing behind him, Dak?
Yeah.
Oh, pick Dak. Yeah, that's what he
right
can
here.
do.
You like that?
What was that pass to Cobb was off?
Yeah.
There was a couple
that was
of them.
a terrible interception. That was the one of the 4 he deserved.
Right? That was a bad throw.
That's one.
Give him that one.
The other quarterbacks never throw interceptions. They just never do. Mahomes never throws them.
He got one.
Yeah.
He got one.
He's got 2 straight home losses.
Yikes. Hold on. How did this morph into a conversation about Mahomes? We talk about Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott has 3 straight losses, including to the winless Jets.
Not at home.
But to the winless Jets?
So, could I remind both of you that the Philadelphia Eagles are coming off a game at Minneapolis in which they got torched by the quarterback that Cowboys have owned for years, the quarterback I miss in the Redskin-Cowboy rivalry, Kirk Cousins, just threw the biggest party. It was like a Mardi Gras party in Minneapolis against the Eagles' pass defense, which is horrendously bad. It's at the bottom of the barrel. They have given up the 23rd most points in the whole NFL. That's the Eagles' defense.
Yeah.
So you sure about that, Rob?
Yeah, I'm sure, because I'm basing it off the quarterback.
Yeah.
The one guy's going to outplay the other.
Today, you got me, because yesterday, neither of my star tackles practiced. Neither of my receivers, Amari or Randall Cobb, practiced yesterday. Neither of my cornerbacks practiced yesterday because they're all hurt. And Travis Frederick needed a personal day. Not sure what that was, but it's not a good sign going forward. So, you've got me. We are decimated.
Oh, my goodness.
We are decimated. We got, this is going to be, if none of those players can play, I got no shot in this game. Okay. That's the heart of my team. The 2 tackles, are you kidding me?
Jason Peters didn't practice yesterday. D-Jack didn't practice yesterday. Sproles didn't practice.
Okay, I think Jason Peters will not be able to play. And guess what? They drafted a kid in the first round. With their first-round pick, they took an offensive lineman who's a left tackle, and he will be in there. I'll take him. I started an undrafted rookie free agent at right tackle last week.
Well, Jason Peters was an undrafted rookie.
Yeah?
He was an undrafted. Jason Peters.
Yeah,
he's
like a 10-time.
So you're picking the Eagles in this game?
I don't know. I got to see who practices today. I got to see what I see on Friday.
How about this, Skip? Both defense. Okay, I'll give you this. Both defenses have failed to live up to expectations. Okay. You thought your defense...
My defense is horrendous.
Considering what they were last year.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I thought they would be better than what they were last year.
I thought they're the best roster in the NFL coming into the season.
But this is what I'm starting to see. Unless Dak Prescott has everything, unless he has the $25 million home up in Malibu, unless he has the Ferrari, the Jag, the Lamborghini.
Unless he has the palatial estate of Shannon Sharpe up in Bel Air.
We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that.
That's what he wants.
Unless Dak has everything, the beautiful IG model, the diamonds, the boat.
It's all got to be right.
He ain't win no game. You see what I'm Skip? Because you keep telling me, Dak. Dak.
Would you like to have a little bit of running game? Because last week at the Jets, the guy who says he says he's the engine. drives this car. This could be a Ferrari if you got the engine. Ezekiel Elliott. 10 times he carried the ball at the Jet against the winless Jets. 10 times he went for 1 yard or fewer. A lot of zeros and a lot of minuses.
He did.
He still had over 100 yards, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's 6th in the NFL in rushing. 6th in rushing.
Skip, you make it seem like the dude is 16.
Yeah.
Or
Right, he's in the
top 10.
He's in the top 10.
Every once in a while, you need somebody to make a play. We got to see this play one more time. This is Zeke on his second carry of the game.
Here we go.
It's 7-0. It's 1st and 10 at the 25. And here we go. Here we go. Zeke, what are you doing? I rolled on the floor like in anguish. Ernestine had a knock on the door saying, "You all right?"
Fell out of your chair?
Yeah, I fell out. I was screaming. Like, why? And again, there's no burst to it. I got to see a little burst. If he just cuts it up outside, if he hits the boundary, he is gone, or at least he used to be gone. And I told
He had
Shannon,
a blocker there, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a gimme.
But Skip, okay, you say he had 5 30-plus yard runs his rookie year.
As a rookie year, and since then, 31 games have been played, and he's had 4. And this year, he's had no 30-plus yard runs.
Skip, he hasn't had in the NFL those breakaway TD runs that we've seen Saquon have, or we've seen Christian McCaffrey have this year. We've never seen Zeke have those.
Did we see him at the Ohio State? Yep.
Skip, that was so long ago.
But haven't they also just decided that they're going to make Dak beat them? It's like we know what the Cowboys do. We stop Ezekiel Elliott. We can beat them because we're going to make Dak Prescott throw the football.
What do the Eagles do best?
Everybody
what do
knows
they do best? What's the one thing they do really well? They stop the run. They went into the Vikings game #1 in the NFL versus the run. Dalvin Cook did get 100.
Yeah.
So I didn't look this week. Probably dropped him to 2, but they went in #1. So that's the strength of their defense. That front 7 will just wear you out.
Yep.
And they'll wear out my offensive line. So it shapes up that way. It's big advantage. If you guys are right, it's Zeke or bust. That's what you're both saying.
No.
Then it's a big bust.
But Skip,
You think Zeke's going to get 100? I don't think so.
You see. First of all, Case Keenum threw for 380 against that defense.
Philly.
Against Philly's defense.
Yeah.
5 of the 6 quarterbacks they faced have thrown for 320 plus against that defense.
They're saying Jalen Mills probably will be back, so that'll give you a little bit of help.
And Aaron Rodgers had 422 against them.
Jalen Mills, Stephanie Mills, Olin Mills, it doesn't matter. That defense, that secondary is terrible.
All available.
Okay. And by the way, Green Bay is really good on defense. I think their secondary, even though it's young, is really good because it'll just fight you all game long. My quarterback in the second half threw for 323 on that defense. He threw for 463.
Was the game decided already?
Already.
No.
That was a lot of stuff. He had a stat Padford game.
Timeout.
That was a stat Padford game.
It came within
the game
an
was
onside.
over.
It came within an onside
No,
kick
the
of
game
being
was
really
over.
dangerous.
Y'all lost by
10.
10. How you get onside with 10?
Right.
Huh?
Y'all lost by 10.
My kicker missed a chip shot.
No, he missed called football is what it's
chip
called.
shot. Dak set him up with a chip shot. All you got to do is just kick it between the uprights.
Okay.
It was like 35 yards,
Rob,
and he missed it right.
Rob, you see what he did? Now, when the Eagles guy had a chance to intercept the ball in overtime, and stifle, and the Cowboys don't win, he's like, that's football. Now his guy missed.
He didn't have a chance to intercept. He just got it. He tipped the ball up in the air. He didn't have a chance to intercept it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, by the way, in that game, the last time the Eagles, this was just last year. It wasn't like 10 years ago. It was last year. The Eagles go to Jerry World, and my quarterback, who can't throw, says both these guys, who's a bust, say both of these guys, threw for 243 in the fourth quarter in overtime. That's hard to do. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks who can throw for 243.
But he won't tell you what Zeke did. Zeke had a career day from yards from scrimmage, but he won't mention that.
That's why that opened it up for him. That's why the passing game was available.
He can really throw it to 21, too.
Rob,
Skip,
did you know in the last 3 games, when the game was within 1 score, Dak Prescott has yet to throw a touchdown with the game being within 1 score?
Has he scored a touchdown? Has he scored?
Is he a running back or a quarterback?
He's both.
No, they need him to throw the football and throw touchdowns.
Okay, wait, time out. Who has the 3rd most passing yards in the whole National Football League this year through 6 games? Dak Prescott.
But we told you the first 3 games don't count.
Oh,
they were against nobody. Skip, you know that.
Nobody.
Skip, when they won those 3 games, we sat here and talked about it.
I told you.
They don't even count.
463 against Green Bay.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, when the score was 7-0, 14-0, 17-0, 24.
Yeah, it got to 31.
Right.
31-3.
31-3.
How many yards do you have?
The turning point of the game.
That's when the game was on the line right there. That's when the
turning point of the game was a pass that hit Amari right there. Right there. Is that catchable? Because Amari said it was the worst drop of his career. Hits him right there, and he butterfingers it up in the air, and it's intercepted and returned 50 yards. It's maybe a touchdown pass, and it goes 50 yards the other way and flips the script.
It's hard for me to believe that a play that happened 4 minutes into the ball game was the
totally
determining factor.
turned the game around.
Yeah. He still had plenty of time to play better.
You mean to tell me that Warrior, because he quick to tweet every Sunday, ooh, my guy battled. My guy's a Warrior, proud of my team.
I didn't say proud of my team after the Jets.
My guy's a Warrior.
I was proud of my quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I have not seen a quarterback take more punishment since Brett Favre in the Bounty Bowl game against the same coordinator, Greg Williams. My quarterback was on his back the whole day because neither tackle could block the blitz or the rush.
Skip, I can't believe I still have the Instagram post saved of you throwing Dak's jersey and his Cowboys hat in the garbage.
And guess what?
That wasn't that long ago, Shannon.
No, you know what it was?
That wasn't 10 years ago. Wasn't that last year? That was last year.
It was after the now benched Marcus Mariota just lit up my defense on Monday Night Football. It was a complete wipeout at Jerry World, and I said, okay, that's enough of this. That's the only jersey I owned at that point. I got a 21 now, so I'll wear my 21 Sunday if he can do something. But
if your quarterback loses, if he doesn't play well,
then the next week I retrieved that
saw it.
Check it out. He hadn't taken the trash out, thankfully.
And by the way, my team fell to 3-5 that day and roared back at Philadelphia to win a game and launch to a division championship and a playoff win.
But the difference is this year they were 3-0 with a chance to beat New Orleans to go 4-0 and basically wrap up the division 4-0 with the Eagles down 1-3. And what happened? Totally turned the table.
Spit the bit. We spit the bit.
Yep,
my defense is horrendous. My defense has plummeted to 26th in the league in takeaways. That's terrible.
Where you at in giveaways?
Giveaways, not.
Yeah.
We're not
Minus.
that bad. We're not that bad. You know, my quarterback hadn't lost a fumble all year, and he fumbled like crazy last year.
I tell you what he has done. He's thrown it away. He won't fumble it away, but he'll throw it away.
On Hail Marys? Yeah, he threw an interception on Hail Mary.
You see what he did?
Yep.
But let me ask you a question, Rob.
Let me ask you a question.
If you throw a Hail Mary and your guy catches it in the end zone, is it a touchdown?
Yes.
But he don't want to get an interception on the Hail Mary, but he want a touchdown on the Hail Mary.
It's the same thing. You got to count it, I always say, right?
A slot blitzer was allowed to hit Dak Prescott right in the jaw. It should have been a 15-yard penalty, and it should have extended the game by one more play. But at New Orleans, nobody's going to call anything on the poor Saints because they got victimized last year by the NFL referees. So now they're going to get every call, especially at home.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
And the final stat I would like to bring up with what receiving core leads the whole league in drops this year. How about Dallas? You don't think that's hurt my quarterback? 16 drops they've had already.
Inaccuracy. Stop throwing the ball.
That's what I was going to say.
Stop throwing the ball behind him.
No, drops.
Yeah.
The ones that hit here and here and here.
Yeah. Look at Odell.
Bounce off here.
Odell got a pair of the best hands in football. And you saw Odell drop two of the same balls on last Sunday that Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, and some of the other guys have dropped, throwing the ball behind him, running full speed one way and trying to reach back.
That's not a drop. It's not a drop.
That's what they labeled it.
They did not label it. They did not. Wrong. But you got me. If I'm decimated, if all those guys can't play on Sunday, you guys are right.
It's about Dak Prescott playing.
You know what? Maybe it's not meant to be.
I keep telling you, excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure.
Really?
I see that in KG. I see it up there at AT&T.
Really?
Quote, Shannon.
Yeah.
All I hear on this show, I hear excuse after excuse for Patrick Mahomes. It's the defense's fault. And I say, it's my defense's fault. No, it's your quarterback. So it's my quarterback's fault, but it's not your quarterback's fault.
My quarterback is on pace to throw for 5,800 yards. He has 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Your quarterback has 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and gets his yards in mop-up duty.
Your quarterback has 2 home losses. Mine has 1 home loss.
No, it's going to be 2 after Sunday.
See what happens tonight, and then Sunday is a whole different story, but all the makings to be a thriller, and I'm already looking forward to Monday.
No mercy.
LeBron and new teammate Anthony Davis put on a show last night, taking down the Warriors 126-93. The King put up 18 points to go along with 11 assists. AD had 8 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. And after the game, he said, quote, "It feels good knowing that you don't have to do much." Steph Curry sat this one out for the Warriors, guys. So, Shannon, what did last night tell you?
Well, it's coming together. They look like they're having fun. Looks like they're playing for each other. And Skip, I just like what I saw. I love Anthony Davis passing the ball, and I love what Anthony Davis said. It just feels like I don't have to, I don't have to do much. But he understands, though, he wasn't needed as his preseason game. He wasn't needed to score 30 points and grab 15 rebounds last night. But he knows there will be nights he will be called upon. That will need to be his stat line in order for the Lakers to win a ball game. LeBron seems like he's free, he's healthy, he's happy. He didn't realize at the time, because I know he was very disappointed. 8 straight finals he had gone to, made the playoffs all those years, and he didn't realize it then, but that was a blessing in disguise because he got an opportunity to rest. His body needed to rest.
In 207 days since he last played a regular season basketball game.
Yeah.
From Tuesday night back to late March last year.
So that was,
that's the longest break of his whole career.
He needed that.
Yep.
He needed that, and I'm glad he got that, even though I took a lot of ridicule, mainly by you, for him missing the playoffs, but it won't happen again in his lifetime, nor yours. So.
In his lifetime?
No. It ain't happening. We're in the title this year. But I like what I saw. I love LeBron, the freeness in which he's playing with. I love Anthony Davis passing the basketball. I love the bigs crashing, rebounding, challenging everything at the rim. I love Avery Bradley, how he's pushing up into people, hitting open shots. Danny Green. I love what I'm seeing from this team. I understand that it's preseason. But in the preseason, I just want to see togetherness. I want to see continuity. I'm not concerned with how many points you score. I'm not concerned with how many points as a team you score. I just want to see building. I just want to see you getting better, and I'm seeing that.
I concur. Last night, I was impressed. This Laker team and the roster is growing on me. In fact, I didn't like what I saw last night. I got to admit, I loved what I saw. They are playing together. They are coming together. They look like a championship contender in ways I didn't think I would see this soon, albeit last night against a G League-ish Warriors roster. What they put out there last night was, obviously, Steph didn't play, and it just, Draymond was there, D'Angelo was there, and that's about it. And a bunch of guys you'd never heard of had to play. So should we discount some? Some. But again, I loved what I saw from LeBron because he's now surrounded by a lot of defensive-minded players like Avery Bradley, like Danny Green, even like Dwight Howard, Jared Dudley. They all came to play defense last night, and it rubbed off on LeBron because I told you before, that's the hardest I've seen him play on defense for all the minutes that he played since he joined the Lakers. And that counts 55 regular season games last year. So maybe he's on a mission to say, I can play some defense, especially when I get to vibe off of and feed off a bunch of guys who are hard-nosed, sort of hard-headed defensive players who care about the defensive end of the floor. JaVale can block shots. Anthony obviously plays defense and block shots. So all of a sudden, well, definitely, that they have a new mentality on the other end of the floor that LeBron pretty much ignored a year ago. So speaking of LeBron, I've got to point out that despite what I saw last night, then dropping this morning on NBA.com was the new GM survey. We see this every year. And this GM survey gives LeBron little to no respect, mostly no respect. In fact, it gives the Lakers little to no respect because let's just start with which team will win the NBA Finals. Clippers, 46% of the votes to the Lakers, 11%. Whoa. That's very little respect. Surprise you?
Shocked.
Okay.
Really?
Shocked. Okay, let's go to, how about who will win the MVP? Well, Anthony gets 10% of the vote after Giannis gets 52%. So
And yesterday's skit, when we talked about that, I said the only guy really, because he doesn't play alongside another superstar, is Giannis.
Okay.
And you see Steph Curry came in at 10% because what? they don't view him playing alongside another superstar.
Number 2 is playing alongside another superstar, but he's got 10%.
Right.
Jokic got 7. Also receiving votes, somebody named LeBron James.
Yep.
Wow. Also receiving votes? That's kind of relegating him to off the grid status.
Well, I told you, AD.
That's not very many
We're gonna feed AD. We featuring AD.
Wow. And then how about my favorite category every year? Which player would you want taking a shot with the game on the line? Game on the line. Which player, Shannon?
You love it.
Well, number 1, survey says 44% of the votes go to Steph Curry.
Oh, is that a surprise? I mean, you shocked by that?
Okay. No, I'm not surprised by that, but I'm about to be surprised by what happens after that. KD gets 11%, Dame gets 11%, Clay gets 11%, Kyrie 7%, number 2 gets 7%. Also receiving votes.
Yeah.
The best player on the planet, says Shannon Sharpe.
Right.
LeBron James is also receiving votes.
Yeah.
So Steph gets 44%, and LeBron got less than 7% if he also received votes.
Okay.
Well, he's the best player on the planet. How do you justify that?
They cut the voting off at 7%.
Oh,
so
did
maybe
they?
he was at 6.
Oh, really?
He was at 6.
Really? And then the one that really sort of rubbed me the wrong way. Which team made the best overall moves this offseason? Clippers get 82% of the votes. Pelicans get 11%. And that's it. Also receiving votes, not the Lakers. Well, I told you, I really like what Rob Pelinka did.
I do too.
In a bind after number 2 left him in the ultimate bind. Right. He went out and got Avery Bradley and Danny Green and Dwight.
But Skip, when you look at it, you look at the Clippers. You can understand the Clippers. They got Kawhi and Paul George and re-signed Pat Bev. So you can understand that. Now, let me ask you a question. Had the Lakers gotten Kawhi and Anthony Davis, it'd have been 100% for the Lakers. Nobody else would.
Number 2 swung the whole vote. Completely against the Lakers.
But they got Paul George also. Paul George finished 3rd in the MVP voting.
The Lakers got Anthony Davis.
That's one.
But you're saying he's one of you got 2 top 5s now. That's what you say.
Yes.
Right.
And when you look at that, Kawhi was a top 5 player, and Paul George was a top 10 player. They got the Finals MVP in Kawhi, and they got third runner-up in the MVP voting in Paul George.
You always tell me that you'll take LeBron and AD over number 2 and Paul George.
Skip, they didn't ask me for a vote.
Oh.
I would, yes.
I think a lot of people would, so I'm kind of shocked by this.
Skip,
82%.
Skip.
How about the Pelicans? They get next 11%. They lost Anthony Davis. They lost Anthony Davis.
It's kind of an odd.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they got Zion, and then they got Lonzo, and they got.
Okay, but Zion fell in their lap.
Right.
I mean, you got the first pick, right?
But see that
you hit the lottery.
They consider that a move.
Is it a move?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I don't know. I'm not sure that's a move. You got moved.
Yeah,
right?
That's like you had sitting on your porch, and the Brinks truck come by, and a bag of money fall out.
Great.
I mean, I didn't win the lottery.
Okay.
I just walk out in the street and grab it and bring it back.
You made a great move, Shannon Sharpe.
I did.
Yeah.
Skip, look. They've been hating on LeBron for a long time. They tired of getting him his just due. Skip, you know, like sometimes you like.
This is no due on this one.
But that's okay.
Okay? He's been posting all through the offseason, comeback season for the ages. So if I'm LeBron.
You're going to pay. They're going to pay.
I'm going to post this on my personal bulletin board and say, okay,
He'll make them pay.
I'll show you.
He'll make them pay.
And I got to tell you, his body looked great last night. He looked as explosive as ever last night. He's still the best passer in basketball. So I give you that. My eye test, he passed with flying purple and gold colors last night. Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice of you to say, Skip.
No mercy.
So the Broncos host the Chiefs tonight on Thursday Night Football on Fox. The Chiefs have dropped their last 2 games and have failed to score more than 24 points in both of those losses. Meanwhile, the Broncos have been on an upswing, winning their last 2 games after a slow start to the season. Now joining us is Fox Sports NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Simple question, Mark. Who wins tonight?
It's going to be the Broncos tonight. I mean, I think there's several different
reasons. If you look at kind of the blueprint, in this league you have to understand about the copy and paste nature of this league, the blueprint to beat the Chiefs over the last couple of weeks. One of the things defenses have done, they've played 8-man fronts, they've played man coverage behind that, they have disrupted routes, and they've basically said you're not gonna have duality. You're not gonna have both the run game and the passing game to your disposal. We're going to pressure your quarterback, and we're going to make all those throws that he has made consistently. We're going to make those tough throws. The other thing they've done is they've kept him off the football field by running the football, by keeping Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, keep the unicorn on the sideline, don't let him play, and control line of scrimmage. And, you look at the Chiefs right now, they've got Fisher is out, their starting left tackle. They've got Sammy Watkins out. Wiley, their starting guard, out. Chris Jones, starting defensive tackle, out. Kendall Fuller, their starting corner, is out. They've got 23% of their starters that are out for Thursday night football.
Wow.
So, you look at kind of all the factors that are going on right now with the Chiefs. The blueprint to beat the Chiefs, it's out there. People are adhering to that blueprint. And the fact that all these starters are out and Patrick Mahomes is still hobbled with an injury, those things all point to the fact that the Broncos should win this football game. On top of that, they've lost 7 straight. Broncos haven't won against the Chiefs in 7 straight games.
Wow.
What is that? That's 3 years, right? So, all the signs point
to Kansas City. We don't know anything about that.
No.
Not in your memories?
No.
That's a good sign.
Come on.
Whoa. Hold on. No Sammy Watkins. No Eric Fisher. They just got back Tyreek. Fuller's out. Chris Jones. I ain't hear nobody mention anything about that. Ain't nobody mention that. But all I hear, Amari's hobble. The 2 starting our booking is Lyle Collins and Tyron Smith. It's not that. That's all I hear. My homeboy ain't make no excuses.
Who has the worst injuries, Dallas or Kansas City?
Skip. So now we getting the worst. Now we grading injuries. Wow, that what we do, Skip?
Sammy Watkins the number 1 receiver? No,
yes.
I think he just came back.
No.
Right?
Sammy Watkins ain't back. Tyreek just came back. Sammy Watkins is not back yet.
Okay, so you're missing in Kansas City 1 tackle. I got 2 star tackles who are both better than that 1 tackle, and he's pretty good, but my 2 are better.
I'm just saying, we don't.
You started it, I finished it.
We just don't use that as an excuse. The blueprint, even though, which is, and everybody keeps saying the defense, you disrupt their receivers. Mahomes is still throwing for averaging 340 yards throwing the football. He still has 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. The biggest thing is that limiting him on getting his butt on the field.
Yeah.
When you control the ball for 40 minutes and you let him have the ball for 20 minutes. Indy possessed the ball for 37 minutes, let him have the ball for a little over 22 minutes. That's how you beat him. You limit his time because if you let that time of possession get even, he gets 30, you get 30.
Right.
Or he gets 32 and you get 28, you're not beating him.
Right. If you keep him down to 7 possessions instead of the average in an NFL game is about 12 possessions, you keep him to 7 possessions?
Under 10. Let's hope for under 10. Because you really doing that. If you keep him to 7 possessions,
well,
that's
what I'm saying. If he's only playing 20 minutes, he's getting 7 possessions. That's the way that goes.
So my question is, whatever happened to Patrick Mahomes? Where did he go? You call him the unicorn. You call him a runaway MVP. He's revolutionizing pro football. And all of a sudden, he is eminently beatable. He just lost 2 home games, and you guys are both predicting he's going to lose a 3rd straight against a team that just 2 weeks ago was 0-4, and a team you didn't love going back 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, your team, as a matter of fact, your team just lost to a team that was 0-4.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought we were talking about...
Oh, my bad. I don't even know why I brought that up.
I thought we were talking about my road boy, right?
I misspoke. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got ahead of myself.
Well, it's all you got, because the only way you defend Mahomes is you try to throw it back at me, but I'm throwing it back at you because you keep saying it's the defense or it's the strategy. There's no run game. There's no this. I got all those same problems times 100.
Right.
And I want to know, Patrick Mahomes had a chance late in that game to go tie Deshaun Watson to say, okay, I can top this.
Right.
And he had the ball, and he had 3 downs to do it, and they went nowhere. He flipped it to LaShawn and lost 4 yards. Then he handed it to LaShawn, it went nowhere. And then he tried to throw it to Blake Bell, and it fell incomplete, and they had to punt. That's right in the middle of the 4th quarter.
But my thing is, Skip, if you look at it, you guys lost the game in which you won the time of possession. Huge. He has yet to lose a ball. He didn't lose the ball game while winning the time of possession. You limit his possession. Teams say, we don't care if y'all got the ball, Dallas, because you're not going to do anything with it when you do have it.
Okay. Well, I never said Dak Prescott was better than Patrick Mahomes.
And
never said that.
And you better not.
Okay. Well, you better tell me how Patrick Mahomes is the unicorn, because I'm not seeing
14-1.
Okay. If you get chances to go win the game, you better go win. And he's hobbled.
Kind of like Dak Prescott. Yep. Kind of like that Dak Prescott did get the 2-point conversion.
That's all I hear back. Dak Prescott.
Hold on.
And you know what? I do appreciate the respect you pay my quarterback, because you keep putting him in the same conversation with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes every time. Every time you do. So he must really
the only conversation is they play quarterback. That's where it stops. That's where it stops, Skip Bayless.
Really?
You need to stop this now.
Okay, I could start it with number one in QBR through 6 weeks is Dak Prescott.
And what do they got you?
Wow.
What do they got you?
3-3. We're to get Patrick Mahomes to be third in QBR. Got him to 4-2.
And top of the division.
2 straight home losses.
Y'all got 3
Way
straight losses.
Way to go.
All I'm saying is,
where is the runaway MVP?
Yeah.
Whatever happened?
And listen,
talk to us.
I'll tell you this. It's like what's going on with the Rams right now. They face a defense that they are struggling to figure out how to block, that their personnel and the way they have constructed their team doesn't match up with guys or teams are playing them in a...
The 49ers, right?
Right. Well, no, anybody.
Okay.
Anybody, they're playing them in this 6-1 type structure where they're putting linebackers on the outside to take away a bunch of jet sweep stuff, and they're having a tough time. Their personnel doesn't match up well with that. So now defenses are dictating to the Rams as opposed to the Rams dictating. What's happening in Kansas City right now is defenses are dictating to that offense a little bit, and they have not.
Wow.
They have not, with the injury to Mahomes and with what they're doing, they have not responded very well. Now, part of it. And Shannon's right. He's still throwing for 300 yards, but his completion percentage the last 2 weeks is about 55%,
right? Which
is just not good enough. But a lot of what they're doing is based upon, here's our blueprint, and until he shows us that he can master that, until their offense shows us that they can master that, we're going to stay with that blueprint.
Okay.
Physicality.
So what do we see? We saw Denver go 0-4, and we saw Kansas City go 4-0. And this league changes like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, and think about what Denver did. Denver changed a couple of different things. They moved Shelby Harris to the outside from the inside.
Agreed.
They moved Mike Purcell in. Now, he in 25 snaps last week in run situations.
Was unbelievable.
He had 5 tackles behind the line of scrimmage in 25 snaps. I think it was 25 snaps. It was something like that. And they started playing more press. Now, they don't have to play man behind it all the time, but they started playing more press than they did early in the season. They have figured that out. Personnel, the matches with what Vic Fangio wants to do, they have figured some of that out, and they're playing a lot better, and they have the wherewithal to execute the game plan that has made the Kansas City Chiefs struggle the last 2 weeks.
Vic Fangio shook it up. My coach shakes up nothing. He just keeps doing the same old.
Skip, you've got a lot of the same
you can do that when you're empowered. When your GM empowers you to do that as a head coach, you can do some things.
All right. I know you guys are all going Broncos. Just for the record, I've got Mahomes figuring it out tonight just because I'm the only one. Mark, thank you for joining us.
No mercy.
So James Harden went off last night for 40 points in a 128-114 loss to Skip's Spurs. Skip's beloved Spurs. That was a tongue twister for me. That is your team, Skip. So Harden played a game-high 34 minutes and put up 27 shots. Russell Westbrook added 14 points for Houston, but he also turned it over 8 times. Shannon, what did last night tell you about the Rockets?
James Harden still the best offensive player that we have in this league, Skip. And it started, Skip, that he and Murray was going at it early. DeJounte Murray.
We had a nice game for the
And he was guarding Harden.
Yep.
Harden tried to take him one-on-one, and Harden missed the shot. Murray gets the ball, goes back down the court, and he scores. And he started jawing with Harden.
He did.
And I think that got Harden in a mood. Dude, you really think you can guard me? And I think from that point on, he had in his mind he was going for 50. That was his mindset from that point on. Even in a preseason game, he wanted to send a message, bro, you can't guard me. And in the process of doing that, he forgot he had Russ on the team. He forgot he had Russ on the team, Skip. Skip, I don't know how. Russ is not a 2. Russ can't play off the ball. For you to get the maximum benefit of Russ, he needs the ball. Russ did not get 3 straight years of triple-doubles playing off the ball. I don't know how you maximize him, Skip. It's almost like you saying, okay, we got Julio Jones, but now we want to run the ball 50 times a game. Well, you lose all the value that Julio Jones can bring you. Yes, he can block, but you really want to throw Julio the ball. Well, you really want Russ to have the ball in his hands so he can facilitate. But James Harden is at his absolute best when he has the ball in his hand. Since they've been tracking usage, 3 years ago, his first triple-double, Russ had the highest usage rate ever recorded.
Yep.
Last year, James Harden had the second highest ever recorded. So you see, Skip, these are two guys that need the ball in order to be successful. Unfortunately, you can only play with one basketball.
Yep.
Skip, I don't know how this is going to work. Are they going to win some games? Yes.
Yes, they will.
But come playoff time, will it work? We haven't seen it work yet.
I still like this team. I will still watch this team.
Oh, absolutely.
This is some serious all-time firepower in this backcourt. But last night, to me, at home against a good defensive team, San Antonio, and you're right, he got into it with DeJounte. DeJounte missed all last year. DeJounte had a good game last night. He made 8 of 11 shots and scored 20 in 20 minutes. But James Harden made a resounding statement. This is my team. Russell Westbrook, you will be 1A at best, if not second fiddle to me. And Russ was having a hard time because 8 turnovers is,
was he pressing? Was he trying too hard?
Yeah, like it's just hard to find your place.
When you don't have the ball, you have the ball so infrequently.
Yes. Now you're trying to make too much happen when you do get to touch the basketball. Right. And what James Harden did in a preseason game was extraordinary because you don't see 40-point preseason games.
No.
Man, he played high minutes for a preseason. He played 34 minutes and scored 40 points. So you're right. He is still the best solo offensive player in basketball.
It is not close.
No, it's not even close. But he wanted to make it very clear, I'm still in charge here. When push comes to shove against a team that can play defense, I'll be the one scoring the basketball, not Russ.
Right.
So I'll still be watching, but I think Russ is going to have a long, hard season. He's going to win more games maybe than he's ever won. It's possible. I know they had some good teams, but this could be a really good team if he'll find a place.
Skip, it's funny, they say the 3 stages of a man is a baby, boy, and a man. And you go through those stages in reverse again.
Yep.
You see, remember, there was a stage when Russ was center of attention and Harden had to take a back seat.
Yep.
Oh, my, how the tables have turned.
Yep.
Now you look who's in the catbird seat.
Yep.
It's James Harden who's the center of attention. And Russ now must take the back seat. I don't know. Everybody says, oh, we best boys, we homeboys, yada, yada. Skip, it's easy to say that when you're not in that situation. But when you're used to having the ball, and for the last 3 years, you've gotten a triple-double, and you've gotten that because you've had the ball so much. And now all of a sudden, you don't know when you're getting the ball. To be honest, because James Harden needs it. He's going to have it.
I also want to point out that in a preseason game, James Harden scored 40. He led the team with 10 rebounds, and he led them in assists with 7. 40, 10, and 7? That's a statement.
In a preseason game.
Whew. Yeah.
No mercy.
Cleveland Browns, 6'4", 272-pound defensive end Myles Garrett was apparently punched in the face yesterday by a fan. Yeah, you heard that right. Garrett tweeted this: a fan hopped out of his car to take a picture with me and then punched me in my face. Put your legs into it. Might have actually made me flinch. Skip, what is your reaction?
There has to be more to this story. What fan would dare to punch Myles Garrett in the face to start with? And how many NFL players would have been out of the car all over that guy before he made it back to his car?
Exactly.
Shannon Sharpe would have been all over him because you would not sit still for that.
Yeah.
Now, Myles Garrett is a different sort of cat, if you will, that he writes poetry. He's more of a lover than a fighter, so I don't know, maybe this is more of his nature.
Well, Skip, for me, probably I wouldn't have rolled down the window, so I probably wouldn't have allowed the fan in my windows, so I probably wouldn't have rolled down the window and gave him that opportunity. But the thing is, you never know, because we've seen incidences. We see Will Smith lose his life over something senseless. We've seen Joe McKnight lose his life over something senseless. But, sometimes fans go tell his buddies, guess what I did today? Man, I took a picture with such a Myles Garrett, and then I punched him. Really? For what? Why? Now, see, the man beat you to a pulp, and then you want to sue. Hey, come on, man. Come on, fan. Skip, hopefully this is true. It's hard to believe that Myles would make something up like this.
No.
So hopefully this is... this is a fabrication, but hopefully this can't be true, Skip. It can't be. A fan would do something so dumb.
I hope not.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.